Hello all heroes and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe, and today we are going to be doing kind of an overview slash guide to Arena and how that works. But before we get into that, I do want to give the final numbers of the Conquest event that just wrapped up. You will notice things went very well. I actually was able to get my Conquest up to Omnipotent Plus, and interestingly, I actually did not spend any money. I don't have a single gem to my name now. I think I probably used between 45,000 and 50,000 gems, and the only reason I was able to make the final push to Omnipotent Plus is because in the last few hours, the gem bundles just reappeared, which happens sometimes, I've noticed. Couldn't tell you why, but I aggressively took advantage of it, and now you will notice that instead of 40,000 gems, I have a whopping 10. So, yeah, but you know what? I would say it was put to good use. I also do have Anissa and Thula up to 17 stars, which is how high I wanted them to get. So now it's just going to be a matter of doing lots of levels. So, like I've said in the past, free-to-play possible, maybe not free-to-play friendly. And it is also worth mentioning that I had some abnormally good luck as shown in the previous videos. Go watch those videos if you want to see me get blasted by Conquest for some reason. And if you do enjoy these videos, maybe like the video and subscribe. Would definitely appreciate it. Now, the reason I want to get into Arena is twofold. One, we did just have the introduction of the Restricted Arena, which is pretty massive. And two, I have reached the Invincible League. This is the highest league in the arena. And I was thinking that once I get to this league, it's probably nothing but whales. I am correct. Just for context here, I am at about 350 million power. You will notice my opponent here has 2.02 billion power. That's a little more than me. Just a little bit, with such feats as a 42-star Universa, 34-star Monster Girl. I'm not beating that. Now, you might look at Electro Swirl here with the 216 million and be like, okay, well, surely you can beat them. The first time around didn't go so well, and I think it's because their Universa is stronger than mine. And at the end of the day, if a team does have a good tentpole unit to do their DPS, that does tend to work. Now, okay, this one's going okay so far. Also showing Red Rush does a surprising amount. Oof, yeah, that Universa sucks. I might get away with it this time. Oof, I also think their cloaking's better than mine. Oh, I think I actually won that one. That is surprising, but you saw how close that was. And if we take a look at my battle log here, yeah, I am being turned into chum by these stronger opponents. Now, to be fair, that was to be expected. But the good news is, when we're at this level, we can actually see what some of the strongest people are using, which makes it ideal for planning. And I'm going to pass that knowledge on to you. Now, let's take a little peek at these three teams here. They all appear different on paper. A few of them have Red Rushes, a few of them have Invincibles, all of them have Universas, so there's that. But there are a few trends that you're going to want to keep in mind. First of all of these teams have a single tank. Now, that's not really anything mind-blowing. That's pretty standard for these types of games. But it's kind of one place where my team has definitely gone wrong, is I did not take the time to build up a proper defender. I kind of put Adam Eve up there as a pseudo-defender, which admittedly does work and has extended Anissa's life immensely. But these teams have a single tank. I will say up high, Alan is the one I'm seeing the most. In my tier list video, I ranked Alan as A. I might be regretting that now, because quite frankly, almost the only tank I'm seeing up this high is Alan. If we take a peek at some of my defending fails, there's an Alan there. That one's actually a Titan, interestingly enough. There's an Alan there, Okay, well, there's just a straight up wailed out. Well, I guess I shouldn't say wailed out. Maybe they just did the same thing I did. But point is, Conquest. Was that a level 1000 Allen I just saw? Ooh, yeah, it was. Okay, so they're kind of doing the same thing I am, getting characters up to level 1000. So point is, a single defender to kind of serve as your tentpole damage soaking source. Allen is the one I've seen the most of. I have seen some Monster Girl. Strangely, I have not actually seen much Immortal, which surprises me a little bit. I thought I'd see more Immortals up here. Maybe I made errors in judgment on my tier list. I don't know, but hey, I'm just doing my best here. Point is, a single defender, with Allen being the most common. Now, this is where things seem to vary a little bit in terms of supports versus attackers. If we take a look, two of these have two support characters. The one on the right here has Adam, Eve, and Robot, and the one in the middle has Robot and Red Rush. Then the one on the left is a bit of an anomaly because they're cooking with only Red Rush. In my opinion, I think it makes sense to have one supporter or two supporters if one of those supporters is Red Rush, because Red Rush can kind of function as an attacker in a way. Like I even said, I dramatically outstat this middle opponent, and yet the first time I took them on, I actually did lose to them, albeit just barely. This team, let's see how this fight goes. The point with Robot and Adam Eve is that together they do just such an immense amount of healing that it doesn't really matter. It's like who cares if you don't have as much damage if you just straight up can't be killed, which is why those two work so well together. However, like I said, from what I have seen to an extent, it seems that the typical strategy is running with one support or one support and Red Rush. Now, who is those supports going to be? Either Robot or Adam Eve. Of the two, I think I see Adam Eve more, because Adam Eve does a ton of work with those shields. Now, see here, this team on the left here has Red Rush. I'm not gonna bother fighting them because with that stat difference, I would not get any useful data out of that. But they only have Red Rush, and I think they get away with that because they do have just so much damage on the team. They've got the Seismic, they've got the Invincible, and they've got the Universa. So let's pivot to attackers. Universa is like a mainstay on these teams. It is rare as the day that I see a high-level team without Universa. Specifically, a Universa who has been powered up quite a bit. Because especially once you do get her skills up. Now, that one actually does not have a Universa, which is interesting. Once you do get her skills up, especially the one that can chain to like 5 enemies at once, her damage skyrockets to an immense degree. Universa can cook an entire team basically on her own if you get her powered up. So, obviously, Universa. From there, the attackers can vary a little bit. I also just noticed this middle team actually has 3 supports. What the heck? That's a weird one. So anyways, as I was saying, Universa. That seems to be the most common arena character that I have seen to date. After that, it gets a little loosey-goosey. But typically, what I see is a mix of, including but not limited to, Invincible and Doc Seismic. Kind of like what you see here in this left team. Of the two, I think I see Invincible more. Invincible just does so much blanking damage, can speed up the recharging of your team if he's paired with the last line of defense character like Adam Eve, and has invincibility effects, which is great for soaking up damage. Invincible seems to be the one that is most commonly used. That said, I fear Seismic almost more, especially a Seismic in the front. Now, you might wonder why is Seismic in the front like that? Well, it's because of his ability, where if somebody gets too close to him, he just stuns them and bounces away. This one right here, Shockwave. When Doc Seismic is in melee range of a grounded enemy, he triggers a Shockwave, pushing and stunning the enemies, and then land somewhere else in the battlefield to keep fighting. Bonus points for the fact that Seismic does have a truly absurd amount of damage. It is actually ridiculous. And like I said, Invincible is the one I see more, but Seismic is the one that scares me. So take that for how you will. Now you will remember in my team is a little different in my options. I like to run kind of a Viltrumite core here with Thula and Anissa. I'll be honest, that really is more of personal preference because it was not easy. Now, of course, like I said, I reached Invincible League. You want to know how? I had about like 80 freaking PvP cards, and I used all of them. It was not a battle of power, it was a battle of numbers. I just picked on lower level people as much as I could, to the point that I just had the numbers to make it to Invincible League. Because you'll see here, these characters, or these opponents, are primarily much stronger than me. I will be truly shocked if I actually stay in the league at the end of this week. To stay in, I'd have to get over 85. But the problem is that even if I get any points like I have now, I get zeroed out whenever I get attacked, which is not ideal. Not that I'm really worried about it, if I'm totally honest, because the rewards in this are not actually that much different from the previous leagues. Sure, you get a few more copies of the earpiece, a couple more gems, but nothing that's gonna blow people's minds over it. So that's kind of something to take to comfort. You don't have to be in the highest league to get loot. If you do settle somewhere in Elite League or even Senior League, you'll be doing just fine. So now with that said, I'm going to pivot very briefly to Restricted Arena. Because Restricted Arena is, of course, the same thing, only with restrictions. The current restrictions right now are Viltrumites. And I almost want to do like a video for every restriction, just to talk about who would be best. Let me know if y'all would like that, if y'all would like those types of guides for each Restricted Arena season, because admittedly, some of these are going to get very interesting. The current Arena season is Viltrumites. Viltrumites are some of the strongest characters in the game, including but limited to Invincible, Anissa, Omni-Man, and a few others. Now, speaking of which, what Viltrumites can you actually use? Well, if you're an early player, you might actually struggle a little bit here, because Viltrumites are kind of few and far between, believe it or not. Now, to be fair, that said, we did just have a From World Beyond event, which is probably going to supplement that a bit, which I suspect was on purpose. They probably themed the arena over the current event, which is admittedly kind of cool. But as far as Viltrumites go, you have Thula, Anissa, Invincible, Omni-Man, Conquest, Lucan, and Kid Omni-Man. Not counting the event we just had, only 3 of those characters are regularly accessible. Invincible and Omni-Man are mainstays in the general pool. That's nothing new. And Kid Omni-Man is available in the arena shop. But that's it. These other guys are a bit more exclusive. Of course, Conquest just released, so he's not going to be in any kind of pool for a while. Thula and Lucan only just recently cycled out of the arena shop, actually, so they're not regularly accessible. And then Anissa we have not seen in any kind of shop outside of events yet. So, yeah. Ideally, the best team is probably the one you're seeing right here. Thula, Conquest, Anissa, Omni-Man, Invincible. Lucan is unfortunately just discount Conquest at this point, because Conquest is just a better defender in every way. That said, Lucan can work, because he does still have Viltrumite synergies, albeit subpar ones, and he can trigger Anissa with some of his pushing mechanics. Even though Conquest has that too, but hey, we're just talking options. The kicker with Kid Omni-Man is that while he is a Viltrumite, and that technically lets him on the team, he doesn't actually have any true Viltrumite synergies. He has last line of defense synergies, which will work with Invincible and Omni-Man, although I question that, because I don't know if that would increase Omni-Man's life leech. It's hard to say. because it's only healing based, but there are no healing Viltrumites. Kind of appropriately, actually. However, if that's all you got, that's all you got. Kid Omni-Man is like the last pick of this dodgeball team. I'd even use Lucan over Kid Omni-Man just because I think Lucan does have, in general, better effects. And at the end of the day, Kid Omni-Man is still just a rare character. A decent rare character, but a rare character nonetheless. Then again, if you have been playing for a little bit longer and you have a halfway decent Invincible, or if you did get quite a few Viltrumites from the recent event for Conquest, you'll probably be doing just fine, especially since the pool is currently massive right now. So you'll probably have no trouble finding opponents to face, and it's good too because it gives quite a lot of currency that you can use to spend on the multiverse shop, which does, again, like I said before, does have Kid Omni-Man if you wanted him. He's not a bad character. By rare characters, he's actually pretty good. It's just at the end of the day, he is still just a rare character. But yeah, that is Arena in a nutshell. The next one is going to be Earth's Defenders themed. If y'all would like, I can talk about that a little bit closer to time. Because the nice thing is, there are no shortage of Earth's Defenders that have been in the game for a long, long time, including, but not limited to, a couple of the ones we just spoke about, funny enough. But we will cross that bridge when we come to it. So yeah, let me know if this video was helpful down in the comments below. What are your typical arena comps? Let us know, and maybe we can help some people out down in the comments. And we will see you next time. Have a good one.